Hello everyone. This video is a practical introduction to what's inside an EMV chip application. In the previous EMV Byte 2 video, we looked at the logical file structure inside a chip card. In this video, we will look at it practically. We'll first cover the prerequisite hardware and software, and we will also look practically into the data aspect of it. For this, we need a smart card reader, which is ISO 7816 compliant. There are various card readers available in the market from HID, ACS, CWinner, etc. They provide either a USB or a serial port interface through which we connect. In the recent days, it's mostly through USB interface. From a software perspective, I am using an application called CardPeek, which is available on Linux, Windows, and OS X. That's Mac OS. It displays the EMV data in a tree view. Again, there are a lot of software applications to do this. You can also do this using Python as well. There are packages like PyScard available for it. Now let's jump into the content of the video. We open the CardPeek application. It displays the available card readers. I am using ACS ACR39U reader, and I am selecting this particular card reader. The analyzer option can be clicked, and what we are going to use is an EMV card, a bank card, pin and chip. This application supports a lot of other smart cards like the SIM card, etc. But our need is to look into the data of an EMV chip card. So I'm going to select this option. Once we select this option, it requests us if we have to issue a get processing options command to the Visa credit application. For the demo purpose, I'm using a very old expired Visa credit card. So I'm going to issue this get processing options command. The moment I click S, this application is issuing commands to the EMV chip card that you see here. And now it has read all the data and is displaying us the data in a tree format. Let us look at it one by one. The first one here is the DDF file, that is the directory definition file, which is at the topmost. To recall, the DDF is at the topmost of the hierarchy, that is the directory definition file. Next to it is an application definition file, that is ADF, and then under ADF there are multiple AEFs, that is application elementary files and records. So this is the DDF file, that is onepay.sys.ddf01, and then in this particular chip card I've got only one application, so there is only one entry in the ADF application. The way to read this particular data is this particular application displays the data element by text description, and it also provides the EMV tag name for it. We can use the EMV 4.3 book annexure A2, which shows us all the data elements by tag. So this particular annexure A2 has all the tags sorted by the tag number. So 6F is the FCI template. We can look into the raw value, or we can also look at the interpreted value. We are more interested in the interpreted value, so I'm just showing the interpreted value here. The first one that you see is the ATR data, that is answer to reset. Again, just to go back, in EMV Byte 3 video, we looked at the first command that gets issued is the ATR. ATR consists of all the technical information. To parse the ATR, I'm again going to use help of a website, smartcardatr.apdu.fr. So I've already copied and pasted this value. So when we parse it, it gives us information about all the technical information about the EMV chip card, how the application selection would happen, etc. So this ATR consists mainly of the technical information of the chip card. In the DDF file, we have the short file identifier, and then we have the language preference. And the first file is the ADF file here, which shows the application number for a Visa credit application and its description and the priority indicator. After the ADF, we will see all the data that is extracted by issuing a get processing options command. So it starts from here. The output of a get processing options command is we will get the AIP information, that is the application interchange profile, and the application file locator data. The AIP tells us the capabilities of that particular card. So if you see here, it tells if the DDA is supported by the chip, and if cardholder verification is supported, and if terminal risk management is to be performed, and issuer authentication is supported. The AIP is of 3 bytes. Each bit in the 3 bytes has its own significance. So the first bytes, third, fourth, fifth, sixth bits signify this, which are populated. So this is the most important data, which is the application file locator. Application file locator gives information about the application elementary files. So in this chip card, there are 3 files, and the first file consists of 1 record. The second file consists of 2 records. If you see, it starts from 1 and ends at 2. The third file consists of 3 records, 1, 2, 3. So this is kind of a pointer which tells the number of files and the number of records in each file. After the AIP and the AFL, the next data that we see is the PDOL data, which is issued using a get data command. Here we see the ATC and the last online ATC information. The next comes the data in the application elementary files. The first one, as I mentioned, has only 1 record in the first file. This data contains the track 2 equivalent data, track 1 discretionary data, and the cardholder name. I have masked the data purposefully. And the second file has 2 records, which consists of the public key index, the issuer PK certificate. This is the third and the last file. The first record of this file consists of the application expiry date, the PAN number, etc. The other important fields are the application usage control, which tells us what type of transactions can be performed. The next 2 are the CDOL1 and CDOL2, which is used in the cryptograms. The next important data element is the CVM list, which tells what type of cardholder verification method is to be performed. And the next one is the issuer action codes, which tells about the actions to be performed when to go online. The second record in this particular file consists of the application currency exponent, the version numbers, the service code, the currency code, etc. The last record consists of the ICC public key certificate. So this is all the data that we see in a typical EMV chip card. So in this particular chip card, we saw the DDF, the ADF, and then 3 AEFs with multiple or singular records in each of them. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you understood how the data is actually stored inside a chip. Please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.